It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. I see you guys in the live chat betting on the start time. I love this gamifying daily dose of Donna start time. This is the new gambling. Welcome to Las Vegas, daily dose of Donna style. I am Muzzy. That's my new name, Muzzy. Don't wear it out. You guys, it's so fun to be here. We have so much to talk about. This is going to be the craziest show. I don't even know what we're going to do. Just like move in, okay? Just move in. Come on in. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned how we're going to get through today because I don't even know how I'm going to I don't even have all the information that I'm about to share with you. Like I'm still learning what we're about to talk about. So get ready. Literally, this is the day that you have to be on Daily Dose of Donna. This is the day that you have to be a doser. We're about to hit another milestone in subscribers. So many of you guys told me yesterday that you're a huge dosers, that you listen on Spotify, that I showed up on your Spotify Wrapped. I am so thrilled to hear that. So many of you guys said that I showed up on your YouTube Wrapped or whatever YouTube is showing. So many of you guys said that I showed up on your Apple Music. Apple Music apparently also does some sort of like Wrapped or something. I feel so thrilled. I'm so excited to be part of your daily life. You guys are part of my daily life. Everyone, welcome to such an exciting, interesting daily dose of Donna. We have so much to talk about. Blake Lively says, that's it. We're going to trial. You're throwing the kitchen sink at me. And she brings up a whole lot of nothing, but a lot of it. Tara Reid doubles down about getting drugged at this hotel. We're going to start with those stories. Plus, Kelley Wolf gets her restraining order dropped. You guys remember the whole Kelley Wolf story that I talked about so long ago? Kelley Wolf and Scott Wolf. We'll start with some little bit stories before we get into the Blake Lively story. And Natalie and Nick Viall are in a little bit of hot water for a comment that Natalie Viall said that I didn't love. Okay, I didn't love this comment. Did you? About Whitney Levitt? Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll talk about it all. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like. I want a like count. Okay? I want a like count on the minute on today's Daily Dose of Donna. It is your daily dose of Muzzy. Erica says, hi, Muzzy. So happy to finally join alive. Do you think Muzzy understands how we've dedicated my show to her? Literally. Do you think Wrigley on the ground here next to me understands that his mom's name is now Muzzy? Do you even know, Wrigley, that mommy's name is Muzzy? What's up, Muzzy? Okay, guys, Muzzy is in the house. Susie says, what up? All right, so we're going to get started. We have so much to talk about. Let's get started with this Natalie and Nick Viall story because Viall, I love that his last name is Viall because it's not Viall. Viall is ridiculous, right? It's got to be Viall. Now, we have to start out about it because this is a mom story. This is shout out to all my mamas in the house and also any daddies in the house, okay? Because if you're a dad, I guess you would understand this too. You know, we started our issues with Nick Viall back with this Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni story. Before that, I don't really think twice about Nick Viall. I actually never really think about Nick Viall. Like he doesn't pop up in my brain on an often basis at all. But the reason, I'm sorry, Micah, with this comment, Muzzy is popping those perineums. That should be the tagline on Daily Dose of Donna. Daily Dose of Donna, where Muzzy will pop your perineum. You wonder why I'm not a top 5 Spotify show for everyone in the world with that tagline, right? So anyway, Nick Viall obviously became very, very team Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. And we were like, wait, what? Nick, what? We didn't love that. We didn't love that for him. We didn't love that for us. But then Nick Viall even went further with a lot of his bad takes with the Mormon wives girls and with a lot of his Dancing with the Stars takes and his Housewives takes. He really just didn't. We weren't agreeing on a lot of things through the years, you know? And so, of course, it continued. Now over the Mormon wives stories, he got hired to be the next Andy Cohen, and host the reunion season 2. And I'm sure for him that was a huge deal. For him and Natalie and their family, for him to host a reunion for Mormon Wives, which was the biggest show for Hulu, that was a massive deal. That could have been literally him becoming the next Andy Cohen. So he gets hired to host the reunion for season 2. And truly, I didn't even watch it. Did you guys watch the season 2 reunion? I didn't even watch it. I thought it was horrendous. I thought it was so bad. I thought it was just the clips I saw. I thought it was badly timed also. It aired like 2, 3, 4 months after or weeks after the last episode. And it was Nick Viall. Sorry. He's just not someone I want to watch with a Mormon Wives reunion. I thought it was badly cast. And of course, this season we have Stassi, which is so much better. Hey, Wrigley, those are not your chips. I've got a little puppy and I've got chips, and it's just not a good combo. Hey. No. Hopefully I don't have to release her into the wild today. And by the wild, I mean my backyard, okay? PETA. So, he got fired from that job. And Stassi Schroeder got season 3. So we know that right now, and that's really exciting. And so I think he's a little bitter about that. He also had shit with Whitney Levitt in the last reunion, and she films season 3. She films an episode of season 3 and even talks about the fact that the host of the season 2 reunion came at her and gave her a lot of shit and judged her a lot. So she and Nick Viall, they didn't get along that well. But just recently, Whitney Levitt is living her best life, right? She just performed in Dancing with the Stars, did phenomenal. She didn't obviously place. She got 6th place, but then she, of course, did Call Her Daddy, and then she just booked Roxy Hart on Chicago. So while everyone everyone is congratulating her, even her enemies on her show are congratulating her. What does Nick Viall's wife do? Well, let's watch it. Nick Viall's wife, Natalie, who's also on the show, decides to question how can Whitney do it all?
You called that. I called it. I feel like Nick with Taylor Frankie Paul.
I make it a little faster.
I think this is like great for her. I honestly think this is exactly what she needs to do. I am curious though.
Can she say?
I don't know, but I guess she'll learn.
If she can't, she will.
Yeah,
she can do anything.
I am curious though, because obviously we had, Taylor Frankie Paul being the Bachelorette, and she got a lot of criticism for like leaving her children and like prioritizing her and her career and finding love and whatever. I am curious how Whitney, and maybe this is just on like a human level, mom level question of just like how she's managing both, right? Because right now her career has skyrocketed. She just did Dancing with the Stars for 3-4 months. I know she has kids in like school level. Maybe they're homeschooled. I don't know. But like to be in LA for 4 months doing Dancing with the Stars, and then to now shift to New York City doing Chicago, like that takes so much of her time. How is she managing like prioritizing being a mom and her kids, who I imagine have some sort of schedule and routine that like, and I know their home base was Utah. So it's like, I just am so curious. 3. I'm just so curious, like how that.
So curious. So many questions.
Dancing with the Stars, right? I feel like I saw a TikTok saying that.
Okay, so she decides to ask all the questions. Just so curious. How can Whitney manage it all as a mom? Wow, I wonder how she's managing it. God. Ooh. Well, it did not sit well with the internet. I'll tell you, the mamas are not happy about that, because when was the last time that anyone questioned any father for getting work? When was the last time that that Nick Viall sat there and said, "Ooh, just so curious, how does Ryan Reynolds manage Deadpool? How does he manage it? How does he manage getting Deadpool and then getting that other really cheesy show and movie? And then how does he manage Wrexham? How does he just manage it?" Now, here is the thing, okay? I understand what she's saying, because I actually did have the thought too, but not about Whitney. How does she manage it? I actually thought about the kids, because when you do have young kids and things are in different cities, you would imagine like that has got to be difficult because you know that the kids are with them. And I thought about this with Jen Affleck too, because she was bringing her kids with her, but her kids are real young, right? Like Jen Affleck, who's another Mormon wife, she was bringing her young kids with her, and her kids are like preschool age, right? However, Whitney does have school age kids. So the thought did cross my mind, where are the kids going to school when they're in LA? And where are the kids going to go to school when they're in New York? But never once did I say, how is Whitney going to balance that? How is Whitney doing that? How does she handle that as a mom? Because you know what that does? That just makes Whitney seem like she's not doing enough. And you know what Whitney is doing? Whitney's doing all of the things. It's because of Whitney that couple is rolling in dough right now. It's because of Whitney that they have mom talk. It's because of Whitney that her TikToks and her social media bring in so much money. It's because of Whitney that they have meetings at Disney, at ABC, that they got Dancing with the Stars, which brings in so much brand deals and so much cash. It's because of Whitney that they have this 6-week Roxy Hart Chicago deal. And it's because of Whitney that they will continue to be successful. Look at Ariana Madix. She's continuing to get all these jobs. And Whitney is the star of the family. Connor is not the star of the family. Connor's job would never amount at this point to where Whitney is financially. So Whitney is jumping in while as they say, like while the fire's burning, she's making all the money. They're killing the game. And the kids are probably with them, maybe homeschooling, maybe with a tutor or whatever. So all she would have had to say, Natalie, I think, to better that question would have just been, I wonder how Connor's balancing it all. Like that would have been the best question I think she could have asked. I wonder how Connor is balancing all of those things. I wonder how Connor is handling everything with his wife working so much and his kids at home and moving across. I wonder how Connor and Whitney are doing it all. They're doing so amazing. It came off really, really weird. It came off a little bit odd. She's working. She's working her ass off. He's probably massaging her feet when she gets home. He's probably bringing her coffee in the morning. He's probably thanking his lucky stars that his wife is successful and talented because he knows what this is meaning for their future and for their bank account. Let's BFFR. Be for freaking real. All right. In another hot topic today, and actually some good news, you guys, you remember the Scott Wolf and Kelley Wolf drama that we had a few months ago. And if you need a little quick refresher, it was a big story back in June, July, August. It was kind of the story I was fascinated by. And it was a real dramatic and actually traumatic and sad story. Scott Wolf from Party of Five, and he's an actor in many other projects, is married to Kelley Wolf. And they announced that they were getting divorced. They have 3 kids, teenagers to young. I think their daughter is like 12 or something. I can't remember, or younger. And they announced that they were getting divorced. It was kind of surprising. She's a former Real World star, beautiful couple. They were together 20 some years. And then what happened was a series of like weeks and weeks of Kelley Wolf posting really, really frenetic and erratic social media content. She was going live. She was posting on her social media every day. She was going on stories. Lots of substance abuse, lots of alcohol, at least, that we were seeing, smoking cigarettes, and just what seemed like mental health struggles. It did not seem healthy. And we were watching it all kind of happen on social media. Then she was getting arrested. Then she was getting on 72-hour holds. And it was playing out on page 6 on People magazine. It was really, really traumatic for a while. And I was getting all these inside sources that were coming to me and telling me what was really going on behind the scenes. And she was getting, in these involuntary holds and then pulling herself out. And then she eventually got arrested. And then she went to rehab. And then she took herself out. And then she finally went to a rehab and she's stuck in it. And that's why she's gone quiet on social media for a long time, minus like here and there a story or two where she did post one picture of herself looking incredibly healthy. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was like about a month ago or 2 weeks ago. She looked so healthy. She looked so just like clear in the eyes. She has since deleted everything pretty much since even the divorce announcement. I want to say she's deleted on her Instagram. I don't let me actually see if she's deleted the divorce announcement. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's deleted everything on her Instagram from that tumultuous time, which is so good because it was really, really tumultuous, if you guys remember. Yeah, she deleted everything from that time. And she has no stories, no posts from that really, really bad time. And it makes me feel so much calmer for her. Like I said, she posted one story of her face where she looked so much healthier and so much happier. And I felt so much calmer about it. And then what really made me happy was that Scott Wolf posted also her they're estranged, obviously they're exes, but they were married for so many years. And he posted, first of all, he posted 7 weeks ago, happy birthday to you, a picture of her. I think I talked about it on this show, and it's an old picture, but it made me happy because it showed that like he was still caring for her. This was 7 weeks ago. And then he posted this 1 week ago, which is a series of pictures of him and their son. And in the collage is a bunch of pictures, including a picture of him and the son and Kelley, which made me really, really happy. And then one other thing that made me happy was that one of their sons, who is a teenager, posted 6 days ago saying, "So thankful for everyone in my life," and included an old picture of Kelley as the first picture in it. And this is he's a teenager now, and he's a public profile. And she responded, "Love you, sweet boy. I'm the luckiest mama alive." And he liked it. And this literally almost brought me to tears. It truly did. And I really want to say, I got a lot of hate during this entire time covering this story. A lot of people were like, "Donna, you are you're trying to attack someone for mental health." I never, ever, ever was covering this in a salacious way. I was covering it because it was public news and we were interested in it, but I never, ever was trying to cover it in a way other than just wanting this to work out for them. And it made me so happy that this brings me to tears, even just thinking about this right now, because I see this little boy. I could cry right now just being a mom of a little boy. Well, my kids are not little anymore. They're 13 and 10. I wish they were little. I would do anything to have a little boy this young for just one day. But this just brings me to tears because I feel there's nothing better than to have a healthy relationship with your family, especially if, I just think it's really, really good if they are able to work things out. But the best news about all of this is that as of yesterday, Scott Wolf dropped the restraining order against her. And if you remember when she was really going through the incredibly difficult time with mental health and alcohol, etc., and she was scaring the kids and scaring probably a lot of people with the behavior. He was trying to protect his kids, and he had to put a restraining order so that she wasn't scaring them. I mean, I think it really was to protect his family, and he put the restraining order in place. But as of yesterday, he dropped the restraining order against her. And I think that this is such a positive sign, you guys. I think it's a positive sign. And so it says that he has been dismissed at his request. A Utah court officially closed the case. She is still on a court-ordered hold. She is in a rehab right now. It says that a Utah court granted his oral request to dismiss the protective order against her. The case was dismissed. Any protective orders have been declared null and void. And it says that she is I'm trying to see where it says currently. I believe that she is now it says in mid-October, people reported that Kelley was transferred from a Utah-based hospital to a different mental health facility to continue the remainder of her stay. And so she's in a mental health facility right now, probably just getting healthy. And I'm so happy to hear it, you guys. It makes me happy. So I'm praying for them. I really am. And it's perfect time for the holidays. Exactly, Charvable. So this makes me happy for the whole family. They have young kids. What else could you want? What else could you want? Everyone needs their mama, right? Especially if there's like issues there. That's like the best news ever. So there you go. Quickly, let's take a little moment for a quick ad break, and then let's get into the Tara Reid story, because speaking of substances and drugging and all of that, this is a weird, weird story. So we'll talk about Tara Reid, and then, of course, we'll get real deep into the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni story. Everywhere you guys look right now, people are talking about weight loss medications. It's the buzz at brunch. It's your group chats. It's at the doctor's office. It's literally all over social media. It's at every restaurant I go to, everyone I talk to at parties. It's really out of control. This time of year can be tough. The holidays are near. They're supposed to feel joyful, but for so many, they can bring stress around food, weight, and body image. But hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to weight loss treatment plans for every budget. They connect you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine the best treatment option for you. If prescribed, you can get medication as part of a doctor's developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing care, check-ins, dosage, and medication adjustments, and access to 24/7 online support at no additional cost, no hidden fees, and no membership fees. Weight Loss by Hers is realistic, not restrictive. Hers provides access to affordable weight loss plans built around oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectable options, with oral medication kits starting at just $69 per month with a 10-month plan when paid upfront in full. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time you find the best option that works for you through Hers. Whether you want to lose weight, grow thicker, fuller hair, or find relief for anxiety, Hers has you covered. Visit forhers.com/daily dose to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's forhers.com/daily dose. Forhers.com/daily dose. Weight Loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded drug products are not approved or evaluated for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety information. Actual price depends on product and plan purchase. Thank you guys so much for supporting Hers. I truly believe in the product. I know I don't use the GLP-1 injectable, but I use an oral medication I've had for the last year. I use metformin for my PCOS. I get it from Hers. I am not only they're not only a sponsor, I'm also a client. That's not in the ad read. That's just actually true. Okay, that's actually true. I also want to shout out Lola Blankets, because while I am, a content queen, I love my TV, I love my podcast, I love my books, I love all of it. I also like to be comfortable. So as you know, Lola is the world's #1 blanket, crafted with ultra soft, luxury, vegan, faux fur, and a signature 4-way stretch that sets it apart. It is the most amazing holiday gift. It's the best blanket in the world. It's literally the best on the market. And I'm telling you, you will spend a little more for a Lola blanket, but it will be the most durable blanket. I have 3 dogs, and my dogs are all on top of them. My kids use it all the day, and it's the only one that is held up for months and months and months. I've used it, and we've washed it so many times. It's machine washable, double hem for durability, and stays flawless. No pilling, no shedding. Even after so many washes, it's the kind of quality you can feel the moment you touch it. And during the holidays, it's the kind of gift that feels extra special because it will last years to come. I have the large. It's perfect for cozying up solo or with someone else. I actually want another one. I actually do think I'm going to buy myself another one. But I will use my code because I'll get 40% off with my own code. I'm going to use my own code. Okay. So you can get 40% off your entire order. Look, both Laura and Christina. I don't know which mod to use their comment. I think I used Christina's before, so I'm going to go with Laura because I'm an equal opportunity. host, okay? Get 40% off your entire order at using the code at www.lolablankets.com by using code DailyDose at checkout. Experience the world's #1 blanket with Lola Blankets. You guys, it truly is honestly the best. Make sure to tell them Daily Dose of Donna sent you. Okay, this Tara Reid story is wild, wild, wild. I need to know your thoughts. I'm actually going to maybe even poll my audience. I will put the poll up and answer while I am telling the story. You may not even know. Tell me right now if you guys even know what the story is. Was Tara Reid drugged by the hotel? Start poll. Okay. Let's get into it. So this is the story. This is the story all about how, what if I just like broke out into song every single time I go into any story? What would you guys do? Would you be like, Donna, what the hell? This is not what I signed up for here. Like if I made every single story that I talked about a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. You'd be like, what the? Okay, hold on. I just need to find the actual article. There's so many weird articles right now, so many strange stories right now. It's an odd time to be alive. Okay, so Tara Reid claims that she was drugged at a Chicago hotel bar. It's like in northern Illinois. It's like outside of Chicago. It's like a suburb of Chicago. I want to say it's in Rosemont. I could be wrong exactly, but I feel like it's just outside of Chicago. She claims that she was drugged. It happened in November, so I think it was like last week at some point. She's standing by her claims that she was drugged at this bar. But the problem is that the cops are announcing that they found no video evidence. Now, I'm going to take you back to what happened on this night. And here's a picture of how she looked on the night. Okay, let me show you. I can't remember ever looking like this unless I was sleeping, personally. Okay, this is how they carried her out. Now, I want to honestly ask you, have you ever looked like this? Have you? Just curious. So I'm not judging her. I'm just saying she looks like she's drugged. That's how I am actually framing the story. I am not trying to say that she is lying. I'm saying she actually looks like she was drugged in this moment. But let's talk about what she's saying versus what is actually being reported here, because it's a little bit of a weird story. So at first she said that she gets to the bar, she orders a drink at the bar. She then decides to leave the drink at the bar uncovered. She walks outside, I want to say downstairs, she says, smoking a cigarette with some YouTubers she says she meets. I mean, maybe it was Zach Peter. I want to see these YouTubers. Blake Lively is going to say it's Popcorn Planet. Okay. Who is this YouTuber? Now, she meets YouTubers outside, quote unquote YouTubers. She then says she comes back upstairs. She says she comes back upstairs and the drink is now covered by a napkin. Okay. Then she says she drinks the drink and next thing you know, she's in that condition, what you're watching right now. She cannot function. I mean, this is what she looks like. Okay. She cannot function. She is completely incapacitated. She ends up getting onto a stretcher like this. Okay. So it's real, real bad, obviously. She claims that she was drugged and she goes to the hospital and apparently the hospital takes a drug test and she's saying, and right now the drug test is not, the hospital is saying that they have not received the reports yet, or she's saying she has not received the reports yet. But this is the bad part of the story, is that cops are now saying that they looked into it and they're finding absolutely no video evidence backing that she was drugged at this bar. The Rosemont police claim that they have found no video evidence in their ongoing investigation to back her claims of being drugged. It says while video surveillance showed that Tara Reid was actually at the hotel bar, no time did video show anyone tampering with or adding anything to her drink. We can confirm that a bartender covered her drink when she left the bar, which is standard practice for bartenders to do. But the police are still waiting to receive the American Pie Stars hospital records. So they're still waiting to get the hospital records. It says the department can't confirm out at this time which specific chemical testing the hospital may have conducted. They're working with Tara to receive the records, which apparently she has also not received yet, which I'm surprised by because I'm not a nurse. Maybe you guys are. Do you not release, like, don't you get the records of your drug testing pretty instantaneously? Like, isn't that with, a 24-hour turnaround situation? I have no idea. It says, pending those results or further information coming forward, our detectives will follow up on those leads accordingly. The message closed saying that authorities have found no criminal act that has been committed and they're not currently investigating anyone. But Reid is doubling down. She's saying, no one ends up in the hospital incapacitated for over 8 hours after one drink. Last thing I remember is having one drink, and then I woke up in the hospital the next day, and I don't remember anything. It's the scariest thing I've ever felt. I felt so helpless. This has been a horrifying experience for me that is severely affecting my mental health. I can't sleep over this. It's a very scary feeling not knowing what happened to me. I believe it was drugged. Something happened to me, is what she is saying. Her rep is saying that she has filed a police report and she's recovering and asking for privacy during this traumatic time. So, I'm curious from you guys. What do you think could have happened? 71% of you think that she was not drugged. 70% now. Okay? 70%. Now, it's really tough because I've heard some really crazy stories from you guys. I've heard people say bartenders have been known to drug clientele at bars. A lot of people say people have put powdery substance on a napkin and put it over the bar. Amy Phillips, if you guys know Amy Phillips, she's a podcaster, a comedian. She commented on my Instagram post about this and she said, is it standard practice at this bar that every time someone gets up and leaves their drink, does the bartender always put a napkin on top of everyone's drink? I would like to know if this is something that is, a common practice at this bar, because if it's not, that would be something to look into. It's kind of strange that they would only put this napkin on top of her drink. I have never personally gone and left a drink at a bar in years. I can't remember the last time I've done that. It would be so out of character for me to do that. Like, I don't know how I could do that. It would be like leaving my wallet on a bar, right? Can you imagine ever leaving your open drink at a bar without a husband or a best friend being with it? I just could never imagine ever doing that in my right mind, unless I was so out, so drunk, so like faded. I truly couldn't. I'm just curious to see some of your comments. Now I did see something from an RN, someone saying, Robin, RN here. Blood, alcohol, and certain common drug results are within 2 days at the longest. Now, other less common drugs could take a week. Susie says, I must say it happened to me. I was unable to remember my name, address, taxi. I had to call ambulance and police to get me home after half a drink at a bar. No, it's 100%. This is possible that she was drugged. It seems like she was drugged. That's why I'm saying if she really truly had one drink. But if she went to the hospital, wouldn't they check her blood alcohol percentage immediately? So wouldn't we have results if she was like 0.03, right? Or 0.08 even. That means, so she only had one drink? Okay. Then they would test her for, I imagine they immediately have a test for roofies, for date rape drugs, for GHB or whatever they're called, right? That would be the first thing a hospital should have on hand for these kinds of situations, I imagine. I mean, anyone here that works, Robin, are you still here? Like anyone that has that kind of a experience, I would think the first thing you would do is immediately check for some sort of a date rape drug. When a girl comes in and they can't function and they have no memory and they say, I found her at a bar. Now, the cops are saying we have no reason for an investigation. And people are saying, well, of course, the hotel's not going to want to take responsibility for this. But a cop doesn't care about the hotel. A cop cares about the truth, hopefully. And so I'm assuming that the cop probably looked at the footage and would say this. And Tara, if she really believes that she was drugged, could hire an attorney who would also say, I want to see the footage. We should see the footage. I want to see the footage. Daily Dose of Donna would like to see the footage. I would like that on Patreon only. Tara Reid, if you want to be on the show, happy to have you on. Let's talk about it. Now, Tara Reid has also had a very, very challenging few years. There's definitely some substance abuse in the past. So this would be, not the first time, but do not leave your drink unattended, to smoke a cigarette, to go to the bathroom. Someone told me there's something called a drink condom. I don't know what that is, but always have protection. Take your drink with you when you go to the bathroom. Put it even on the floor with you in the stall. Take your drink. I would rather you lose your seat at the bar than lose your memory, than lose your ability to stand up, than lose your consciousness or your dignity, right? Like take your, whatever. Christina has an interesting thought. I'm wondering if it was the cigarette was hers or she got it from someone else. That's actually interesting too. I didn't think about that. What was she smoking outside? I want to see footage of her outside smoking her cigarette with the YouTubers. Who are these YouTubers? And then I want to see footage of her walking back in to the hotel, walking back to the bar. Was she coherent outside? Did she only get really effed up after she finished the drink? Or was she already really like topsy-turvy when she was walking back into the bar? That's what I'm curious about. Lots of questions. We'll stay on top of it. Just asking questions. Okay. PI, Donna Bowling, at your service. Okay, let's talk about our next story, yeah? This next story is one that it's like, obviously it's the big story of the day, and it's the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni story. So Blake Lively finally filed, if I could get any of these words right, I would, but some sort of motion of summary judgment of opposition of proposition. Okay. The way that I have any idea what any of these things are called, I wish. But she did have some sort of deadline yesterday. It was December 3rd. She didn't make the deadline. I know that she didn't make the deadline, but she did. The memorandum of law in opposition to motion is what it's actually called. Document 1070. The amount of exhibits that this woman, Blake Lively, filed yesterday is shocking. Okay. I don't live stream these things. There's other creators that sit up until 3, 4, 5 in the morning and live stream every single document, every single exhibit. Thank God I don't. I don't understand how people do it. I couldn't. I won't. I won't in a box. I won't with a fox. But some people are really good. Luckily, I follow really great creators who tell me really great things about what to look for when it comes to these situations. But when it comes to the Blake Lively story, and this is just a quick reminder, have you hit subscribe? Have you hit subscribe and have you hit like? Well, actually, there's a few things I want to talk about when it comes to the Blake Lively story. In the last few days, we've gotten a lot of new information. Okay, a lot of new information and a lot of really important information. Before we get into this new summary or this new the opposition to Justin Baldoni's or all the defendants' motion for summary judgment. Before we get into that, there's some really interesting stuff that just happened in the last few days. Okay. So new evidence has been revealed, new text messages, new documents, and Elsie pulled out one that I loved. I mean, everyone's pulling them out, but of course I watch Elsie. I watch a lot of, my friends' content. And Elsie pulled out one that really highlights Emily Baldoni. And I think that this is really, really important because Emily Baldoni is, I love a strong woman, and I love a quiet, strong woman who's like behind their husband. And behind every good man, I think is a really, really good woman. And I feel really good about this, and I feel really confident about this because if you're in a good marriage and a healthy marriage, usually your spouse comes home to you and tells you or confers with you and is like, what do you think I should do about this? I'm going through some sort of situation at work and I don't exactly know what to do. I don't know exactly how to handle this, da, 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 da. And so this is actually a really, really important situation because it looks to me like Justin Baldoni and Emily are close, just as close as we kind of assumed that they were. And the reason why we know this, I always knew that they were close. In fact, I've told you guys this many times that I have mutuals with them. And one of my friends, she's actually a neighbor of mine. Her kids went to preschool with his kids years ago. And so they spent a lot of time together in like groups, right? The Baldonis and then my friends when the kids were really young. And one thing she always would say about them is that they're a really, really strong couple. They're a really tight couple. And so what you're seeing about this, like, is it a PR thing that Emily and Justin are really, really strong? It's not a PR thing. I think, honestly, I truly believe Emily and Justin Baldoni are that couple that really check in with each other. And I'm sure they argue, by the way. Okay, Taylor and Travis, just kidding. I do believe that they are honestly a really strong couple. I think that they trust each other. I think that they check in with each other. And I think actually that they listen to each other. And I think those are the best couples ever. When you can look to your husband or to your wife and you can ask for advice and be like, hey, Emily, hey, Justin, or Jamie to his wife, Natasha. And I'm just assuming this. What do you think I should do about this? Hey, I'm dealing with this issue at work. Hey, da 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 da. And I don't want to, give Ryan and Blake any credit here, but I do think that in a way, this happened with Ryan and Blake too. I do think in a way, this is why Ryan got so invested here in this story too, because I think Blake leaned heavily on Ryan as well. I don't think that they have a strong marriage by any means, but I think that maybe they do have a strong marriage in their own sick way. But I think that Ryan and Blake also leaned on each other very heavily throughout this story as well. But just as Ryan, quote unquote, did the heavy in his way protecting in a Viall way for Blake, Emily stood up and protected Justin. And I love this for them because Justin, I think, is too nice. I think Justin is too nice for this business. Honestly, I think Justin is too kind for this business, and Emily maybe isn't. And I'm not saying that she's a bitch. I just think that she probably could see it from an outsider's perspective, and she was probably like, stop letting them walk all over you. And it comes up in this one video that Elsie posted. I think the best way to find it is probably just pulling up her Instagram. There was a lot of text messages that were released, and it's about this letter. And we have so much to talk about with this damn letter. But back when a lot of you found me and we went through the updated complaint, one of the most shocking parts of this updated complaint was when William Morris, the agency that represented both Justin and Ryan and Blake, reached out to Jamie Heath and Jennifer Abel in some point in August and said, I have a letter for you guys that Ryan and Blake would like you to release publicly. This is when there were press swirlings around like, stuff is going down on the set. This is why they're not together on press. This is why people aren't following each other. And so what's happening all of a sudden is this letter gets written. Remember, we were shocked when we read it together on that Saturday. And it was this disgusting letter that Ryan was like, as Justin and Wayfarer, we take responsibility for this discourse on set. I was not man enough. I should do more. Like this gross letter where he was using Justin's own words and weaponizing them against him. And Justin eventually, we didn't know this yet, how it all went down behind the scenes, but we know that Jamie Heath turned that down. He was like, no. We are not reading that letter. Okay. But we didn't really know who and why they decided not to read this letter. But now we kind of find out that it's because ultimately Justin deferred to what his wife thought about it. And some people may be like, oh, what a pussy. He went to his wife. I say, what a man. Let's listen to Elsie break this down.
Right? I told you, right? Don't say I didn't tell you, because I did. One of the first videos I made when I started talking about this Justin Baldoni Blake Lively thing was the fact that, to me, this has a woman's handprint all over it, as in how meticulous Justin is being and how in order he seems to be and how back to back he seems to be with his receipts. I was like, don't nobody get these flowers but his wife. Roll the tape.
There is a real hero in this story, and it's about time she got her flowers. The heroine of this story, it's not her, Blake Lively, and it's not Justin. The real hero of this story, Emily Foxler of House Baldoni. Come to the front.
And lo and behold, today we get these text messages from between Jamie Heath and Mitch Tuskovich, of Jamie saying, I'm getting on the phone with Justin, ready to fight. Talk to Justin. Emily says, fuck no, we're not writing any letter. She made this bed. Now she can fucking live in it. Not lie in it. She said, you build this house of horror. Live in that shit. Live in your purpose. Every dog has his fucking day, Blake. You're a dog. Live in your purpose. Let's fight. We are done. Justin says, well, you heard her. Pretty much you heard the boss. You heard what Emily fucking said. Let's fight. No letter. Jamie responds, so we are saying fuck off. No statement. Mitch Tuskovich responds, I fucking love Emily. Emily Baldoni gives off the energy. She will whack a bitch and say namaste right after and go do some yoga and light up some incense and do like a sound bowl just to center herself because the bitch tried her. I just want to see Blake and Emily locked up in a room. No cameras, no nothing, just me. I'm going to come back and tell y'all what happened. I be knowing, man.
It's amazing. So basically, Elsie says exactly what Emily was thinking, which was like, excuse me? These assholes want us to write this letter? No. F no. She made her bed. She can live in it now. And remember, this is in August. This is way before any of the drama really went down. But this letter was so disgusting. This letter was truly disgusting. It was literally basically saying, like, we take responsibility for everything that went down on the set. Now, since then, a lot of other documents have come out, but we're going to take just one moment, and I hate to do this because you're about to see some really crazy headlines and spinning of the truth, like a spin cycle of the truth come out, because now this is when the Blake bots go wild, right? If the sky is blue, Blake bots are going to say it's brown. That's how they work. So Dr. Leslie Dobson should truly get like a slap on the wrist from social media gods for misinformation. It is wild. It's so upsetting to me that this woman is out there talking. This doctor, this forensic psychologist, Dr. Leslie Dobson, who in her own words says that she is part of this trial, that she has been part of depositions, that she has worked for Brian Friedman before. She has been involved in this trial. She has, in her own words, said that Justin Baldoni has been accused of SA multiple times in his life, through college on this film with multiple women, et cetera, et cetera. SA? That's not harassment. That's assault. Okay. She is very dangerous for this case. And even more so when she's releasing information like this on our favorite platform. Say it with me. Threads. Threads. Okay. I can't believe that I actually am talking about Threads because it immediately raises my blood pressure. But I have to show you. I have to show you. So this is what she says with her full chest last night on her Threads platform. Remember, she has 300 or so thousand followers. This is not a small account. She releases this. Can I make this bigger? She goes, like I said, they even planned a letter. If you follow the Lively versus Baldoni case, a lot will come out this week. She shares that text message that Wayfarer, a production executive at Wayfarer, shared with Jamie Heath, saying William Morris wants Justin to release this letter. And this Leslie Dobson shared this with her hundreds of thousands of followers as if Justin wrote this with her full chest. This is psycho. Okay? I couldn't believe it. And the comments, this HK Dean, who are you? Are you okay? Says, and somehow people will still believe the bots and manage to be Team Justin and villainize Blake after reading this. It wasn't their letter. They didn't write this letter. This is what they wanted them to release. Ryan and Blake wrote this letter, you dumbasses. So, of course, I can't hold myself back. I said, are you new here? This is the letter that Ryan and Blake drafted for Justin to release, and he and Wayfarer rejected it. You say you were involved in this case and you spread this BS? Come on, doctor my ass. Couldn't help it. Sorry. I should probably do some yoga. Right? It's a lot. Now, we can keep moving on, and let's talk about a little bit of the information that came out in this document. Little girl attorney was smart. She goes, look, I mean, you guys have to see how much of it is redacted. This came out late last night. Look at this. This is how little of the information you can actually read. Okay, this is from Blake Lively. So you would think you'd get like all this information, all this evidence. Look at all her evidence, you guys. It's just black boxes. Wow. Blake Lively loves to show her true colors, all her evidence. Just a big old black box. But the actual argument starts on page 47. So it's a 72-page document, and it starts on page 47. And basically, I mean, you can go through it and read it on your own if you really want to, but what she's saying here is that her sexual harassment claims must proceed to trial. She's saying SH can be verbal, physical, or visual, and it includes without limitation inappropriate comments, touching, and other conduct that communicates a demeaning message. She's saying we have to go to trial. I'm not surprised that she wants to do that. She's saying Heath's behavior alone warrants denying the motion for summary judgment. Heath's intrusion into her hair and makeup trailer and the choice to show her the nude video at work. Remember that nude video, the porn, right? The porn. That's alone enough reason to go to trial. Any reasonable woman in Lively's positions would be offended by having a supervisor look at her exposed breasts or play a video of his admittedly naked wife in the workplace. Any woman. Okay. So there you go. And then now she's saying the Wayfarer defendants fostered an environment laden with gender bias. There's gender bias now. The totality of the circumstances, subjective and objective assessed, demonstrate that the Wayfarer defendants fostered a hostile environment based on sex. Okay. So now it's a there was gender bias because now she's saying multiple women. So she talks about this actually multiple times. She's talked about multiple women. Earlier in the document, she says multiple women, and she names them: Blake Lively, Jenny Slate, Alex Sachs, who's a producer on the project, Isabella Ferrer, Colleen Hoover, and Christy Hall, who's the screenwriter on the project. Okay. She says earlier, now it's redacted, but she said earlier that multiple women felt uncomfortable, marginalized, harassed, objectified, and disrespected by the environment Baldoni and Heath fostered in connection with the film. So I don't know why she's redacting it here, because she said that earlier. But that's what she feels. She feels every single one of these. All these women are feeling all of those things. So it's clearly a man versus woman issue. Every single, the men were fine, but the women had the problems. Not to mention that all those women were grabbed onto by Blake. Because it's weird that like none of the other crew that were women had issues. I haven't heard from any of like the ADs that had issues. I haven't heard from any of the costume were the costume designers, did they have any issues? I haven't heard about the caterers or the craft services or the makeup artists that aren't working with Blake, or the where there's a lot of women on this set. In fact, when I watched that bar scene and there was all those people, there was like a lot of women on that set. Why are we only hearing about this little circle of like women that Blake grabbed onto? These 6 women. Pretty interesting, right? Why isn't the intimacy coordinator included here? Why isn't she feeling uncomfortable around Baldoni? He's the one that had to write down clit tests because she told him to. That's kind of uncomfortable, right? Baldoni directed his personal sexual comments at Lively directly, including by, can't see it. Can't see it. Can't see any of the evidence that she has. Now, this is very interesting because we talked about power dynamics, you guys. We talked about the power dynamics on a set. And we all know that Blake Lively is the powerful one because she was the one that made all the decisions. She was the one that got the final cut of the movie. She became the wardrobe costume designer. She was the one that was in charge of the schedule. She was in charge of everything. But now it says Lively may be a movie star, but on the set of this film, Heath and Baldoni were her bosses. Okay, so she had no power. It was a total, they had the consolidation of power as the lead actor, producer, director, co-chairman, president, and CEO. They set her schedule and her salary. They appeared on and managed the set every day. They were responsible for receiving and addressing HR concerns, and they had the power to exert influence over Lively's working conditions. She was just a meek little girl. She had nothing. She was just like a nothing. Poor little Blakey. It's a joke. Their collective power and conduct threatened her ability to do her job, including by risking her chemistry with her co-star, forcing her to spend significant time reporting and attempting to remedy their behaviors. And blank. Can't read the rest. Then it talks about the retaliation counts must proceed to trial, about the smear campaign, of course. Now, I want to talk about Alex Sachs. Hold on. Okay. So on page 6, there is a part here that it says, Baldoni and Heath marginalized and mistreated women based on gender. Yep. That same Justin Baldoni who said, you heard Emily. You heard my female wife. She says something. You heard her. We're doing it. Sounds like he's a real misogynistic asshole. Sounds like he hates women. He really doesn't like women at all. It sounds like he puts his woman in the basement. Oh, yeah. Well, that same guy, she says in February 2023, pre-production, Baldoni admitted in a lengthy note that blank don't get to see anything. I'm assuming that in that lengthy note pre-production, he admits in a lengthy note that he cares so much about, and it was probably a very kind note. I don't think he was admitting anything negative in a lengthy note. He was probably admitting that he loves all people and he's, cares so much about this role and cares so much about the staff. Okay. But his misbehavior continued. Baldoni consistently, in quotes, I don't know why that's in quotes, yelled at Sachs. That's Alex Sachs. She's a producer. And exhibited rageful yelling or interrupting reactions when Sachs spoke. Sachs recounted one time when Baldoni, upset with Sachs' input on the film, came up behind where she was sitting and yelled and then slammed his hands on the chair next to her and stormed away. Sachs immediately warned Heath and Giannetti, seated behind her, that she would walk off the movie if Baldoni behaved that way again. As the only woman and non-Wayfarer producer on the set, Sachs felt sidelined by Baldoni and Heath. And she also observed Baldoni being very dismissive of the film's screenwriter, Hall, who he did not seem to respect as a female voice on the team and on a movie like this. That felt especially bad. Hoover expressed blank. Okay, let's talk about that really fast. So I don't know, where do we get these little footnotes? Where do we find these footnotes? I'm always curious. Does anyone know, like, when they refer to these 488 to 92? Do you know where to find them? Someone tell me. Okay, we need to talk about this. I worked in production. Anyone here in the comments, has anyone here worked in Hollywood or worked in production? Exhibit numbers. Can we find them? Are they available? They're exhibit numbers. Okay, let's see if I can find them. 488. How can I find exhibit number 488 to 492 then? Like, it's impossible to find anything. There's so many. I want to see that. I want to see what Alex Sachs said. It's impossible. There's 500 exhibits. Oh my God. Well, maybe someone else can find it. I'm very curious to read when she says that. Okay. So I'm curious that if anyone here has worked in production. So I have worked on so many different projects, and I've worked, of course, you guys know, I used to work on a lot of kids projects like Disney, Nickelodeon. I've worked for NBC, ABC, CBS, CW, WB when it was WB at the time. I worked for MTV. I worked for films. I worked on so many, okay? I literally, even with kids projects, I don't know of a time that I've ever worked on a project, and I'm talking from the smallest things of Sweet Life on Deck to the biggest things like a huge, big production movie, like a big movie, where not one time did a director or a producer get frustrated. Okay? If all Justin Baldoni did was like, I don't understand why it's not going to happen. My chair is like not hard, but like, if that's what she's talking about, what? This is literally frustration. It's normal, because what happens in production is you have creative and then you have executive and you have the studio against creative. And any writers here and any producers are going to literally understand this, that truly you have the producers who are arguing with creative, because the producers are like the money people, and they're coming from the studio and they have the notes that are saying like, this is not exactly what the studio agreed to, or the budget is not da 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 da. And the producers, or I'm sorry, the creative, the writers, like the director, the visionaries are saying, no, 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 no. This is not what we had in mind. I need it to go this way. And in my mind, I saw that she was going to do this and the light was going to go here. And they see it in a certain way, but the studio has notes from their bosses and they're just fulfilling their jobs. In fact, I'm just going to be 100% honest. The people like Alex Sachs who come as like studio producers, they're annoying to the writers and to the directors and the producers, the creative producers. They're annoying to them, because they come in there as like the know-it-alls from the Sonys and from the Foxes and from the 20th centuries and from all the big studios. And they act like they know what they're doing. But the real people that want to be able to get their jobs done and have the vision of the movie are the directors and the creative producers. They know what they want as the final project. And these other little minions come in and they just get thrown onto the movie as like a coordinating producer from the whoever at Sony. And they just like the Angie Giannetti and the Alex Sachs. I have no idea how Alex Sachs got thrown on there, but they just get thrown on there and they just get assigned to the project. And they become, if anything, like police. They become a little bit like they police the situation a little bit more. And they don't allow the visionaries and the creatives to get their job done. They annoy them a little bit more, if that makes more sense. And that is the problem here, is that there's always going to be a little bit of drama and tension. And most of the time it works out at the end. And you end up at the end of the project, you end up hanging out at the premiere party and you're like, man, that was a tough run there, but wow, over like a cocktail. You're like, oh my God, that was real tough for a while. And like, seriously, oh my God, didn't think we were going to make it, but like, look at what we did here. We did a phenomenal job. Like, cheers. Like, let's do it again. Look at our baby. We made so much money. Like, let's do it again. But it's always hard to get to the finish line in production because it's stressful, because there's money involved, because there's got a lot of rules and there's unions and this, there's so many cooks in the kitchen. So I'm not shocked that Justin got frustrated. He probably felt frustrated because he probably felt like he was getting his vision constantly torn down left and right. This is normal behavior. Some directors take it to another level. Hello, do you guys not remember hearing Tom Cruise yell on the set about COVID protocols that one time? How many times have we seen people yell on sets? How many times have we seen people, directors, etc., yell on sets? This has happened so many times in different situations where we see directors losing their shit on sets. Okay? So I have no idea why this is like a story here. Now, Alex Sachs never, ever went and made a complaint. She never, filed anything with the union against Justin Baldoni. She never actually tried to like create a problem. But then let's also look at the difference, right? Where is Alex Sachs now? Alex Sachs has moved on from It Ends With Us and immediately worked with Amy Schumer on her next film and immediately is continuing to work because she's part of the machine. Alex Sachs is in this machine of Hollywood. She works in the machine of Hollywood and she cannot ever stand by Justin Baldoni in this story. She has to stand by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Has to. And she probably didn't like, it's possible she didn't like Justin, by the way. Even if Justin did this, even if Justin yelled at her and slammed his hands on the chair, I still don't think he is a sexual harasser. People are allowed to get mad as a director on set. Okay. Do you get it? Sorry, I'm just like so frustrated right now. By the way, in case you guys are wondering who Alex Sachs is, I found an interview. Let's watch a little bit.
Americana is a neo-Western crime thriller about a young boy who believes himself to be the reincarnation of Sitting Bull. And between him and a cast of local characters around him, everyone is after this really prestigious Native American artifact, a Lakota ghost shirt. And the movie is an unfolding of all of those parties trying to get the ghost shirt. What's really fun about casting a movie like this is there were so many roles. Because of Tony's writing, each of the roles was character-driven and really specific. I think we were the first movie to cast Sydney Sweeney after White Lotus. You know, we both saw the show, and I called Tony and I said, you got to watch the show. I think this is our Penny Joe. Paul Walter Hauser is someone that I had been dying to work with for literally years. I don't think he is who you would have expected to see on the page. I really love unexpected casting choices. Somebody that you wouldn't believe to be.
Let's see if she does any interviews about It Ends With Us. It ends. I think we would have found it at this point, right? Oh, there's me. Was Tara Reid drugged or not? Like, why is Donna Bowling about Tara Reid coming up? No, I don't see any. I feel like we would have found it by now. What's this?
A movie that we are in the middle of selling right now called Americana. It ended up becoming this.
And welcome back to Industry Insider.
No, it's just...
before he was producing as a finance agent at CAA. And that was how I myself migrated into the world of finance and packaging at one of the major agencies. I was an agent at ICM Partners for 4 years.
So you guys understand, she's not a creative. She's a finance person. They couldn't be more different. So this is not what Justin's energy and Jamie's energy and her energy are clashable. Like, you can see it right off the bat. Now, who's Todd Black? I want to hear from Todd Black. Why is Todd Black not here? And I can just see Blake she's literally lassoing up all of these women, right? Alex, bring them in. Colleen, bring her in. Isabella, bring her in. But Christy Hall, let's talk about freaking Christy Hall. How did Christy Hall get part of this? Because last I heard, Christy Hall should have been pissed off at Blake because Blake took the writing credit from Christy Hall. Remember Christy Hall and the rooftop scene? What happened there? Christy Hall was interviewed about the rooftop scene. And then Blake Lively took it. Let's watch this. I have no idea if this is the interview.
Watch this interview with Christy Hall, the writer of It Ends With Us, and see what she has to say. I did a video earlier. She basically became obsessed with this book, submerged herself in this book, and decided she was going to do anything she could to bring awareness to this type of topic.
Any scene in particular that was challenging to work through?
Yeah, you know, as a writer, probably the most difficult scene for me to crack was the rooftop scene, because I have to say Colleen wrote it perfectly. And
That's
I wish
Christy
I could
Hall
have just
speaking.
lifted it from the pages and just put it in the film, but it's a little too long for film language. And so my first crack at it, it was like a 10-page scene, which is a little impossible. So the question became, what do we keep? What do we shave off? There's a lot of heavy lifting in that scene, and I'm so proud to the performers for really, I mean, there's just a lot of things that have to happen in that scene.
So allegedly, she did not know that the maraschino cherry line was added in the script as a rewrite. She thought that Blake Lively was just ad-libbing it, and she said it was cute for an ad-lib.
Okay, except then Blake Lively admitted in an article, in an interview that Ryan Reynolds wrote the rooftop scene and then had to apologize to Christy Hall in a letter. Do you guys remember this? She had to apologize to Christy Hall in a letter after when she revealed that Ryan Reynolds wrote that scene. And we saw that whole letter. Remember, it was part of the documents at some point, like a year ago. She apologized. She said, the iconic rooftop scene, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that but you now, she told E! News. We help each other. He works on everything I do. And then in an interview with People, Christy Hall claimed she wasn't aware Reynolds wrote the scene, which was included in the final cut. She thought the dialogue was just improvised by the actors. And Lively's amended complaint referenced Hall's interview with People and included an alleged screenshot of an email that Lively sent Hall on August 11th, 3 days after that article was published. She said that she wrote a letter to Christy Hall after she was questioned about the comment, and she apologized. I heard you were ambushed at your junket with a question about something I said on the red carpet, Lively wrote. I feel awful. I would have said anything that I thought could be used against you or anyone, ... It goes on forever. And it says, today is a congratulations, a celebration, and an I am sorry for any upset I may have caused in an otherwise beautiful moment, she said at the end. Okay, so what happened was Blake Lively totally kissed her ass at the end of the premiere by saying, I am so sorry I took this moment away from you, and then probably said, how can I make it up for you? Let me buy you flowers. Let me give you some bullshit hair mousse and join my party here. And maybe Ryan and I can, work with you in the future. And all of a sudden, look at that. Christy Hall is upset with Justin Baldoni too. There you go. There is no reason. Why is Christy Hall upset with Justin Baldoni too? What the hell did Christy Hall have with Justin Baldoni? Why is her name included in Blake Lively's motion? Now she literally picked all of the women that she could grab that Justin Baldoni didn't have a strong relationship with. That's it. Sick. I wish every single crew member on that movie could stand up for Justin, but they're probably all scared about their jobs. Anyway, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Alex Sachs, Nikki says, okay, I pulled over. Alex Sachs was a producer on It Ends With Us and was brought onto the project in 2022 at the suggestion of Sony. She was not brought on after the original AD was fired. Yeah, no, she's been on as a producer the entire time, but she was brought on as a money person. She was a money person. Anyway, it's a very frustrating story and it's not over. It's not over anytime soon, but don't worry. The headlines will throw you off today, you guys. Don't you worry. I adore you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and for liking the video. And I will talk to you tomorrow on Friday's episode. I adore you. Thank you for being here. And that's that. That's all she wrote. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.